Before we implement the methods in our bank account class, let me just give you an overview of what classes and objects look like in memory. So once we've created our class, we can create objects. And so let's say I've created an object and I've named that object account 1. Okay, so this is an object and it was created from that bank account class. It has a name, Fred Fun, and Fred Fun has a balance of $1,000. He doesn't have any transactions yet, but this object has a withdraw, deposit, and display method. So when we want to interact with this object, I can say the name of the object, which is account 1, and then I can call that object's withdraw method, and I can pass it an amount I want to withdraw. And so what's going to happen is this withdraw code will execute. It will subtract the $200 from the balance, and it will create a transaction. So each transaction has a transaction ID and then the amount, so -200, so it was a withdraw. And then if I say account 1 deposit 150, it will run the deposit method and the balance will increase by 150, and then a second transaction will be created with the next transaction ID, which will be 2, and then the amount of the transaction. And then if I do another transaction, another deposit for $75.50, you can watch the balance go up and a new transaction is created. And the powerful part about object-oriented programming is that I can create multiple objects from that same class. So each person at the bank will have their own bank account object. Here's the second one. So this is account 2. This would be the object's name. And this account has their own name, own balance, own list of transactions, and own withdraw, deposit, and display functions or methods. So when I want to interact with this object, I'll specify the name of the object, which is account 2, and then I'll run one of the methods that's defined within the class. If I want to interact with account 1, I'll specify account 1 and then I'll run one of its methods that's defined within the class, and this object has a copy of that code. So this object has its own copy of the code and its variables, and so does this object. So that's the really cool thing about object-oriented coding.